Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are doing a special Thursday night live stream because it's January 31st. It's the last day of the year. So I thought, since I'm isolated and there's no one else here at my house but me and my dog, might as well do what I love to do and share it and see if anybody else wants to hang out and say hi. So, Happy New Year in an hour. We got an hour actually till it starts. So we're not there yet, right? Let me see something. I was favorite instruments. Oh boy. Let's go over here. Is Omnisphere not in the list for some reason? Oh, Omnisphere is there? Interesting. Okay. Couple different things happening on the computer out of nowhere. Say Omnisphere and boom, it will load. Okay, good. Cool. So I wanted to play something. Actually, to start, I wanted to be over here and Beautifully Broken. So I'm playing around with Unify. This is our own plugin that does all sorts of fun things. Let's see here. Hey, Louis. Happy New Year, man. This is an Omnisphere multi. I love all the celebration stuff you've got going. It's great. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. Martin, what are you doing? It's 3 in the morning in Florida. I was actually up last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Happy New Year's, Tom, down in Bend, Oregon. Yeah, nice. Cool. Well, it's nice to see some of you guys show up. That's cool. So I got some fun stuff to show you, some fun things to talk about. My gosh, so many places we can go. I'll tell you this. My dear friend Melanie, she is in California. She went to rescue a dog, believe it or not. And the dog is in a nice home. It's a really cool situation. So she's there. Oh, 2 a.m. Right. It'll be 3 a.m. at midnight. So still 2 o'clock. My gosh. So she is down in California and so these are patches from a library for Omnisphere called Beautifully Broken. And what I'm doing is, it's kind of fun that we have unified all these. Actually, I think this is one that Kindle did. A handful of Plugin Guru customers have. It's 8 a.m. in Bavaria. I love it. 6 p.m. in Sydney. The whole clock thing is so crazy to think about. But anyway, this is playing an Omnisphere multi, and it's using 4 patches to do it, which means it's using 4 different computer threads. So if we take this, and if we go instead and we say init, remember this processor speed down here, how it's showing, that's what happens, the way that the CPU meter works. This is showing you the most active CPU core and showing you what part of that core it's working with. And even with 4 patches, 4 different cores are just breezing along. Now, if we init this, and oh, you know what? This patch library, this might not be. For some reason, my favorites got messed up. See See when I go to favorites. Oh, there it is. It's there. Okay, never mind. I'm losing my mind. But let's see, it's beautifully broken multis here. So we go to multi-mode. Yes, beautifully broken. I can't remember. I think it was it Lost in Ontario? Let's find out. So if we go down here and say Lost in Ontario, load. So it loads up, but now the difference being that all the parts, oh, it wasn't Lost in Ontario, Modern Montana maybe? Yeah. So it's doing the same thing, but it's using all of the CPU core of it. And the good thing is that this computer is pretty powerful. That's still pretty heavy, but if you compare that to the same played from Unify, it's a different situation because that's just the fun. So stuff to show you. Gosh, we gotta have a little organization here, which is not my forte at 11 o'clock at night. But I want to cover a couple things since, oh, good to see you. Night, Jason. Good to see you, man. Jason Schopfer, he has libraries. We have a big sale going on at Plugin Guru. So if you need patches, 40% off on all of our libraries. And there's a special promotion going on for 10 more days for Unify. By Unify, and CloudCity is included with no extra charge for it. So it's a really nice promotion. It's the only promotion I've done of this type ever. Unify turns 1 on January 6th, which is really exciting. So that's coming up. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody, wherever you are in the world. I think we all are hoping for a far better 2021. This is one for the history books, that's for sure. Between all the financial stuff and then the pandemic with COVID and everything, and how that has affected the music industry in particular and other industries that counted on being able to be, I don't know about you guys, but I watch a movie or something with, lots of people in a room. And I'm like, oh my God, where's their masks? It's such a crazy stuff. Yeah, of course. So Jason has 2 really cool libraries. Jason, we got to get your libraries turned into Unify libraries. He's got Northern Lights, which is just a wonderful pad library. It's like 300 plus pad patches for Omnisphere, no extra samples, just really great use of all the sounds inside of Omnisphere. There's so many samples inside of Omnisphere. And then Northern Impact is like really fun stuff that he and I did together with basically there's this program called Wormhole for Synaptic plugins. Synaptic is the name of the company. And it's really fun because it is able to incorporate all sorts of cool harmonics and stuff into samples. It's a really cool sound design tool. And so Jason used that. I used that and other tools as well for some of the sounds in that library. So those 2 libraries are Jason's contribution to the Plugin Guru empire. We got 80 patches or 80 patch libraries at the site for all sorts of things. A whole bunch of them, and this is just a small part, have been unified, because the fun thing with Unify is that you could, let's go to synths and strings and pads. Let's start with a pad, which is on 1 patch. And then I could go over here and say Happy Plucky. It will load patches on top of itself. So I'm still blown away daily by it. And not only this, but it can go to any of the libraries that you have. So we could go to the new Plasmonic, which is a really, really cool synthesizer from Brian Clevenger. And we could say, load in the hybrid pad as a new patch in this existing library. It's gonna take it like 10 seconds because they're working on an update to get to load faster. But this is the cool thing with Unify, is that all of your patches that are created by you using any of your plugins or any of the patches that we have provided for any of these libraries can be loaded into existing patches. That's something very, very few plugins can do, and not in the kind of same focus that we have with Unify. And so that really separates this from everything else, because it's a cool synth on its own with samples and all the stuff it can do. But what just blows me away to this day is to be able just call up like a nice bell, then go playing. Say, oh, Massive. I love Massive. I have Massive. I've got this library and I've got it in Unify. I could say, how about the pad? Load that. So it takes it a second to calculate, and there. And we've been making a library that's going to be coming out very soon called Discover Station. Let's load the Spiccato Full String Orchestra, which is... Uh-oh. Oh, the BBC might... I had a problem with plugins just before this started. So if you need to load a plugin, check this out. You can go select plugins, and I think it has to be in here. So let's go here, BBC. There. For some reason, it did not load, so we say load. It does its little thinking for a second. And let's lose that patch by just option clicking, and now we can load it again, and it will be there. That's the thing that's also cool with Unify is there's no restarting and let it reanalyze it. It loads things, they're ready to go. Move a folder of patches into the Unify library, rebuild, boom, it reads it, they're there. There's no restarting. Many plugins could work that way in the future. So anyway, so Discover Station is a library that I am working with a partner friend of mine from LA that I've worked with for many years named Jeff Stradling. And I'm happy to report we are almost done. It has taken days and days of knob assignments and all that kind of stuff to get this to work. And it's really fun. To start with, the basic concept, if you're not familiar with this is the plugin. Go to favorites, BBC Symphony Orchestra. This is a $50 oh wait, this is core. So go to Discover. I have both Discover and core. And we could say violin 2, violas, cello section, and the basses. You have each one, and this plugin could choose and play one of them. But what if you want to play all 5? And what if you want to do creative things with all 5 after you've done that? Well, that's where Unify really shines, because if you click down here where we get to strings and it says full strings long, this loads up 5 layers. And you can play it. Just like that. Say you want to go to the spiccato section. Here's all 5 spiccatos. Pizzicatos. Boom. Here's all the pizzicatos. Just like that. There's no place else for this type of speed. And then you get into the insanity of MIDI box and the other tools that we have inside of Unify. And now we have things like these phrases. We're going to make some more of these tonight, but I play one note. Playing C. How's that? These are phrases, one note. Now let's take this idea of loading patches and go to CloudCity. Let's go to Skip Hip Kit. I need some percussion. And then there's a road percussion kit to keep you busy. But that's the kind of power that this library has. This is so fun. On top of the single note, now here's a cool trick. If you own Unify, if you started with one patch, well, that won't really work for this because I actually started with a patch that has 2 patches. But if you hold down Option or Alt and you click Init, it will lose all the layers except for the first layer, so that, right? So not only do we have phrases, like here's one called We're Winning. If you want, instead of doing it that way, you can take it to the next level, which is where you're playing it, where I'm using a MIDI file. And now MIDI Box has a really cool ability that we added in 1.2 right here that says poly transpose. And with this, you've got the ability to play. That's just strings. Here, I'll show you. There's strings, brass. I also did this with Rhythm 1 brass running free. Here's the brass part. Oh, wait. I don't want them all together yet. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, these are the orcs. Duh. Silly me. Get up here to BPM brass 1. We'll get there in a minute. Just play chords and hold it. If we go down here to woodwinds, here's the woodwind section for running free. Going out of breath. Then if you go to BPM Orc and click a button for the Rhythm 1, this loads brass, woodwinds, and strings. And this one gets a little heavy on the CPU. Because it's doing all that really, the faster parts like that. Another orchestral one that I created was this one. You just play across the keyboard and jam with it. So probably somewhere around the middle, like second week of January is going to be, we're really aiming to release. Unify turns 1 year old on January 6th. And Shane and I would both very much like to have this update. We've done some really, really nice things in this update, just on the reliability factor. We want to get, it's complicated what's going inside. MIDI Box had a couple situations going on that were kind of strange. There's things happening with loading patches that we wanted to fix. So Shane has been working pretty much 6-7 days a week this whole month and all of December to get this update done. It's an amazing amount of work. So we're hoping to release that on January 6th. That's our best case scenario hopes. And then I'm going to take maybe another 3 or 4 or 5, maybe a week at the most, I think, just to deal with whenever we release updates, there's tech support, and I'm doing tech support and making everything and all that kind of stuff too. So when we're doing an update, we want to sit for a little while with it and listen to that stuff. So, hey there, Wim in the Netherlands. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. We got 48 minutes. 50. We're not there yet. 38 minutes. There's some other things that we've done inside of here. one cool thing that we did is wave sequencing. And I've actually got some wave sequence examples that are pretty cool. And I hope to make more of these. This is going between brass, strings, and woodwinds rhythmically by just playing chords. If I slow this down, right? So this is, the basic concept is this. MIDI box is playing a sequence. And the sequence that it's playing, believe it or not, is really basic. Let's get this to be basic. This is what the MIDI file has for doing all that complicated stuff. It's just playing that timing. But because of Polybox sitting here, Polybox takes each of those notes and says, you play on the next MIDI channel. Each of these layers are set over here, as you can see, to different MIDI channels. So there's 9 layers. Let's see if I bring this all the way up and all the way down. I think I get all 9 to show up so you can see it go. I made a phrase that had exactly 9 events before it repeated. So I made a patch that's got 9 layers. And then inside of Polybox, we have this really nice ability called chord with auto reset. So each time you take your hands off the keys for a note off, next time you play chords, it starts at number 1 again. Right? So I'll be making more of these because the wave sequence possibilities are insane. Now, dressed up means I've added additional synth layers. I think we're now up to 13 layers for... And this should be a little bit faster, and you hear my computer is struggling with this. The complex gets even crazier because it adds the drum groove. Let's tell it to be faster, like 120. So this is actually, it's running more efficiently than the other one for some reason. Oh, I know why. No, this still has OBX. It has DX going on. I love this bass sound. And then, like I said, what's been taking forever is that we are programming all of the knobs for all of the patches. When you come up here to the Sound Like Goldsmith, for example, and you play this, these are things Jeff Stradlin created that are cinematic for... Let's slow it down. A cool tip, if you go here to the transport page, it'll tell you what the reference tempo is supposed to be. Because if you call this up in Unify standalone, it can change tempos from patch to patch. So as you can see on the knob page, if you just want the piano, and as you can hear, it's a different pattern for the left hand and the right hand. You would not believe the amount of work inside of Combo Box managing MIDI files to play in certain ranges of the keyboard it requires to do this. Because the bass line is different than the right hand, right? So Jeff did an incredible job. So we have a number of these. If you want to do a little, I think this is the waltz for Mozart. No, the Haydn is the waltz. So I'll show you both of these. These are so nice. Don't they sound great? So this is using, as I started a long time ago, this is the BBC Symphony Orchestra. There's 3 versions of this library. There's the very affordable Discover version, which is $50. If you write them a letter, it can be free if you wait for 2 weeks. The core version is, I bought that during the Black Friday because I needed that for making these libraries. We're going to release a separate version of the library as fast as we can for core, which will also work for pro. At one point, we were trying to find out if we could like make it for core and it would sound right in Discover, and it doesn't because there's more samples and velocity switches of samples and instruments and stuff in the core version that the MIDI files have to be programmed properly to play and sound the way we want it to sound. So we're going to release the version that works only with Discover first. And if you go to spitfireaudio.com, you'll see information about the BBC Symphony Orchestra. Go to that page. Here, I can show you. Let's see, let's go over here. Say Spitfire Audio. Here you go. Oh, that's right. You got to click here because they don't. There's a small bug in their plugin. I'm hoping they can fix. It doesn't show the window tops. So as you can see, it's $49 or free if you send a request. And what's cool with the plugin is that it includes all of the sections of the orchestra in a single plugin. And you can just click, the red are coded for the brass, the blues are the woodwinds, the greens are the various string sections. And then in the back are harp celeste, tuned percussion, which includes timpani and a whole bunch of untuned drums, snare drums, cymbals, stuff like that, as well as tubular bells, glockenspiel, marimba. It has all of these instruments. And so for $50, you get that. This library, we're doing stuff for all of those. If you go to the bells, here's the... that's a combination with Unify sounds. We need to make more bells. This is one I made called Twinkle Dust and Ice Cream Trucks. It has voices in it and stuff like that as well. So maybe in a little bit we'll make a bell patch because I definitely need more bells. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff in there. There are these, let me show you these. These are fun. This is sequences Jeff made. This is fun. This is some of the fun stuff. This is using Combo Box to make 4 different MIDI file sequences available. Oh, I'm still on that view. Oh my gosh, guys, sorry. I didn't even know. So you guys are fun. Okay, so these are various, each octave. I'll go back to this view for a second. Minor. Then another passage. And each of these has the whole octave range. Now, say we like that one. That's number 2. So if you just go here to harp element 2, you have the whole keyboard. Oh, wait. But not the entire range, because these instruments only play in a certain range, so you can't play some of those high notes that go so high. We have brass elements. We've got orchestral percussion, piano and mallets is fun for... This needs to be faster. So you got stuff like this. Play different notes. And again, if I go to CloudCity, say we want to go over here to BPM perk. So go up here. So you can play the different octave ranges to get the different sequences. Right? Fun stuff. So CloudCity is, or Discover Station is what we were playing with. Let's see, what should we talk about, guys? Do you guys want to talk about anything instead of just, I can be in do demo mode all day long to show this stuff, but what's your favorite thing that you purchased this year? Let's start there. Let me think for a minute about some of the favorite things I purchased. Oh, there's a couple that are really nice. Happy New Year, Steve. Good to see you, man. In New Jersey. Wow. Yeah, it's past New Year. You're already in 21 already. We'll see if anybody pops up their favorite purchases. One that I've got that I really think is fun is from a company called AudioThing. So we go AudioThing, wires. This is a retro tape simulator. It can be totally broken up. And you can turn it off. And the speed, the more slower it is. Ten seconds to shut off. It's just super cool. It has really cool vibe. I believe it's only mono. But it's... So fun stuff like that. But what's really fun is there's a lot of free stuff that came out this year. Hey, Rocky, Happy New Year. From Southampton. I guess that's New York, probably. Yeah? Right on. Good to see you. But let's look at free stuff, because that's where there's some really pretty amazing things happening. A handful of the free things that I want to point out. One of them that's really nice is a plugin called Supermassive. So if we go down here, let's call it just... let's see, we're in Unify library. So just go to keys. Let's call it just a piano. Too many patches. So let's call this up. This is a free plugin from Valhalla. So if you go all effects to Valhalla, this is called Supermassive. What's great is when you slow this down. Let's make sure we don't have any effects here going on. So we just hear what this does because it's so cool. You have different algorithms here to choose. Let's see, echoes, cool reverbs. Let's go large. without the density, it's delay taps, and then density, and it's just beautiful. I don't know why he gave this away for free, because it's such a wonderful, unique, that hybridization between reverb and delay lane. It's real, it's really useful. So this is a favorite for sure. Hydrosynth. Yes, I have not had a chance to play a Hydrosynth. Bernie and some of the other guys in the ESC, the European Sound Collective, have Hydrosynths. And he gushes about how great it is. The Collection 8. Interesting. Congratulations, cooking for X-Palms. Yeah, music. A lot of people like the music Station V9. Thanks, Lewis. Something else on the free tip that was really nice this year. It was the synth that I'm working on a library for with someone. And so I can show you that for a minute. That is Vital. Vital is crazy. Let's see. About the right tempo to show this stuff. This is some of the stuff that we're doing. This library will be both a patch library for Vital, but it will also come with a Unify bonus, which will have drum kits and additional programming going on. This is using how's he doing this? I'm trying to see. Oh, he's using MIDI box to play various sequences at different times. Right. Okay. Then you can transpose. This is doing the drum groove. So we have a really cool drum kit that Saif has put together. So we're using that to do all sorts of things. We're just starting out on what we're going to do inside of Unify. We've been making, we're up to over 100 patches, I believe. So, if you don't know what Vital is, let's simplify this. Vital is a synth from a company called Matt Titel. And I'll show you the website here for it. It's Matt Titel. Right here. It's vital.audio is the website. Hello. And you can say get Vital right here. There's a free version, which is fully functioning. You get additional wavetables and presets with the bigger versions that you buy, or else if you subscribe, which a lot of people are doing, this is $5 a month. You just put onto a credit card. Just depends on how you want to do it. I did the $80 version, which is nice. This is a new synth, and it's wavetable based. It's got an interface that I really, really love. And we've been using this to make patches for, where is it? Critical V. It's 3 oscillators plus a sample oscillator. It has a nice filter. Actually, it has dual filters. As you can see, there's a lot of visual information going on over here. This is where it gets just amazing. I love programming this because of the ability to, like, if you click on something that's assigned to something out here, a knob is going to show up that you can click and drag to change the intensity. You don't have to go to the matrix page and move the sliders here. You can actually do it from the programming interface because of how it's set up. And that, for a programmer, that speeds things up. We have some cool BPM stuff. Let's see, start right. So these are patches that we have made for this new library. I feel so clean. I wanted to get to BPM. That's next one. This is where it gets interesting. This interface lets you see the envelopes. The actual LFOs can be used as rhythmic envelopes like Serum. And if you want, you can click the little paint can, change the resolution here for the grid. Say we say 16th notes. And wherever I click and drag, I'm painting 16th notes. Let's go 32nd notes. So that ability is it's wonderful. It just speeds up programming. So this display can be showing you the shapes in different ways. So you can be painting with a different shape. Say you want to do a triangle. So now if you click with the paintbrush on, it does an up and a down. So, crazy patches that will be coming out with this library. "14 minutes to go." So complex rhythmic stuff just becomes so much easier to program. And if you use say we use LFO number 4, LFO 5 shows up out of nowhere. And it just keeps going. And you can actually modulate in real time the number of voices of polyphony. Here's the unison detune for each oscillator, so you can have that be changed. All in real time, and it shows you visually when you click to see what's going on. Change the curvature, double click to add points, or use the paintbrush. Turn on the paintbrush. Let's go 12th for a second here. So you get like 8th note triplets. So if you want to experiment with real weird rhythmic things, it's very, very easy to just set up some different timing values and paint different things at different points, and all of a sudden you have something really bizarre. Let's say we have like this. You know, so if you're into that kind of stuff, you can get there. So This is a really cool synth that came out for free this year. So if you don't have Vital, it comes with a lot of interesting patches. I think I did favorites. There are some that I thought were really nice. Now, I spent more money for the full version, which has more patches. So some of these might not come with the free version. Really. And what's fun, where we say duplicate, open up this other Vital, call up a different patch. Oh, that's right. Even with it saying favorites and so forth, this current version of Vital, when you save the patch, you load it back up. Forgot the name. We're hoping they fix that. That'd be nice. Like, see, it says that, right? So if I say duplicate to another layer and open it up, it will say init preset, even though it's not. It's actually playing that sound, but it's crazy. So, so that's coming. Those are the factory patches. And then we're working on all sorts of crazy things. Oh, I did do that. Love Call. This is fun. This is a... It all centers around two Vitals that are doing the... Now, why is the kick and snare not working? Is the MIDI files there? Ah, okay. That's what's up. I moved some things around. I'll get it working again. But there's also additional samples and stuff for the Unify version. These might be in there, they might not, depends on if we ended up using them. But now this isn't Vital, but these are Vital, so I could say load this into Unify and fun stuff. So if you don't have Vital, check that out. There's other stuff I found on this really nice list. I haven't even played with this much. It might be available to try out. It's called Sitala. It's a sample plugin that lets you, I believe, what's the number? 16 different drum pads that can be playing different. Let's see, let's go over here to Sitala. This is the page for it from decomposer.de Sitala. Let me see if I can get this to work. We'll try this together, all together. So, what did I say it was? Decomposer. Okay. So over here, all instruments. Decomposer doesn't show up. So let's go over here, load into, go to VST and SITA. Try this date modified. Maybe it's VST3. Is there? Did I not install it? I didn't install it. Install it? Let's find out. Let's go over here. I guess I didn't install it. So let's install it together. So we run the installer. Let's move this over here. So okay, keep. Now, since I've done that, I can go back to the VST folder. There it is. Open it. Boom. It's in. So that is another cool thing of Unify. So Sitala, this is all instruments decomposed, right? There it is, Sitala. Clean 808 factory kits. Maybe that's the only kit it comes with. Cancel. So you now have parameters. You can compress, tone. I believe it can take a sample and chop it as it loads it. But let's see, how does it work? If we say new kit, continued, stay in same folder, output, add to user kits. Ah, I see. So this is this 16 pads? Yeah, okay, it goes up to here. So if you want to add different samples to this, I believe all you have to do is, let's open up a folder, go to some place with samples. I have in this folder here, way too many samples. Go up here to drum. Drum hits. Let's see what we have here. Computer music. Oh, hey, 5 minutes left. It's not there yet. So these are all sorts of different kits from all sorts of different people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. See if I can load these by just dragging over. I think I have to do them one at a time. So if I want this to be here, yeah. And if I want a snare, let's say put a snare here. So you can put in samples that you have to use in sample, in construction of grooves and so forth. So this is a nice sample player plugin called Sitala that I had heard Honorable mention about. Another one that I think is pretty cool is, let's see, I gotta go to here. Is it called TDR Molotok? Yeah, this is another one that's really cool. So TDR. This is Tokyo Dawn Records. It's tokyodawn.net. It's a dynamic processor. It's a type of a compressor is what I have used it as. So yeah, so if we go over here, let's have that sample folder go away. 4 minutes, oh my gosh. I should have something on a TV screen or something to watch because they delayed the New York feed for the West Coast. So we're watching now. So let's go over here to CloudCity, let's say. And let's call up one of the BPM things that, knowing me, I'll get into something and I'm going to forget when it turns midnight. So I wouldn't be surprised. So go BPM split. Hazy Love. Oh, wait, this is one that, let's go Cloud Hot. This is one note. Just. So we have a compressor right here. I'm going to replace this with the TDR one. Tokyo Dawn. Oh, this is not that. I want the Molotok. They have a couple other things that are pretty cool that are free. TDR. Stuff like that. Here's without it. Even when you hit it hard, it's got a really cool vibe to it. Really liked it. So be aware of that if you need a free compressor to, I mean, so many of us have so many plugins already, so it's just nice we have Unify to play with them in, right? Okay, so there's all that kind of stuff to go. Yeah, hey Richard. Welcome to the future, right? Yeah, I just decided to do a live stream and just hang out and say Happy New Year to everybody. Melanie is in California. She actually had an adventure she wanted to take to rescue a dog. And she did, and they've gotten it to a guy's home, somebody's home. I haven't heard the whole story, but anyway, that's a nice compressor. I really like that. Here's without it. Here everything is big and round. This allows you to shape, give things snap. 2 minutes to midnight. My favorite, yeah, oh, 1 minute. We're down, oh my gosh. Okay, so Happy New Year. I should be jamming along with something, shouldn't I? So let's see, what would I play? The Blessed Rains. Oh, Chill on the Guitar Beach. This is a fun one. Oh, it's midnight. Happy New Year. Yeah. From the Caribbean. All right. Happy New Year. So it's it's 2021. Possibility. Yay! That's fun. I hear fireworks outside. Yay! Everybody's happy. Man, 2020, what a year to forget. But just remember, we are living through a really something that will be mentioned year of history, right? It's of an epic, bigger year than 9/11, which we all remember and so forth, right? So, yeah, whistles, all sorts of stuff going on. So after the new year, I picked up a synth, the last minute software synth. I should have told you guys about this earlier in case you wanted to buy it before the new year. So we have the free version called Pendulate available, which is really cool. It's the free version of a bigger synth they've made called Generate. And it's a cool sound. Are you doing anything for the NAMM show this year? I've been in talks with Ilio, and there's some sort of a virtual thing happening. So whatever that is, we will be there for that. When we know what that is, because we don't. So if you don't own this is another free plugin that's pretty cool. It's using a different form of synthesis that's more complex. It's instead of one modulation source, there's a modulation source that's at the end of the modulation source. So it swings it around like it's something's. Picture a carnival ride where there's the thing spinning like this, but each one of the three things are spinning on their own. So it gets more complex. And I was talking to a friend of mine that does sound design for major film, movie trailers and stuff. And his favorite synth that came out this last year is Generate. So let me show you this. So if we go Newfangled Audio Generate, this is the bigger version. More modulation sources, far more types of synthesis types than just the one that comes with it. But The low end of this is frightening. Yeah. And you have these controls. Which change the type of synthesis. There's a random button you can click. So be aware of this. To start with, if you get the free Pendulate version, we have all of the patches, the factory patches it comes with, we have unified. So if you want to right click and add 3 different drone things together, and you can do that super easily. At the end of the list for Pendulate, I added some bonus patches that are polyphonic, because Pendulate, the free version of Generate, is monophonic. You can't play chords. One voice. So all of these are doing our cool little trick where we're using Polybox and 8 layers, and now lots of fireworks outside. My gosh. Happy New Year, everybody. So this is using 8 copies of that monophonic plugin. Each note calls up a different layer because of Polybox. Polybox is there like a train conductor saying, you go to this MIDI channel, you go to this MIDI channel. So all these really cool pads that are really interesting. Just cool vibe to them. Those are all created as bonus patches for the Unify version of the library. Up here is all the factory patches. Now we haven't done anything for Generate. That's the paid version. I don't know if we will or not. We'll see. We'll see. Because there's a lot more patches in Generate. They've been getting a lot of patches by a lot of different people that are making stuff like this. Right. Thank you, composer. Yeah, if you own, the sale on Generate goes until January something, like the 4th. Yeah, it's gonna be a kind of a weird. We can't get together like that, you know? Someday. But very, very cool sounds if you haven't played with the synth. Anyway, so the last hour I wanted to spend making something. And Discover Station needs more bell patches, right? So let's make a bell really quick. Here's the ones that use the BBC Symphony Orchestra. Let's hit init. Start from scratch. We're gonna go into my favorites. I had put the BBC Symphony Orchestra. So let's call it a couple of the different bell sounds and see what we can do. We're going to keep this with Discover because the first version is for Discover. As you click each of these, down here come your instrument options. That'd be cool to add. So all I need to do is, I don't think I might add creative jitterbox just because having random timing once you get different bell parts is really fun. So I'm gonna say duplicate and go to this one and change it. Now this is where our combo box comes in really handy, because here is a patch, stops at F for the xylophone. So instead of using it this way, what you do is you can say operations, copy the plugin state. Now change this to be combo box. And what combo box lets us do is create multiple of any plugin. You can combine in a blocks and then layout. So I'll show you how this works. So we go BBC Symphony Orchestra is this big guy that's got all these outputs. So the left and right come over here. MIDI goes in here, and now it plays. Right? It should be, oh, no, it doesn't, because I haven't set this up yet. So close that, right click on this and say paste plugin state. And now the problem is this, it stops at F, it doesn't play anymore. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go MIDI effects, utility, MIDI filter. We've beefed up this filter like you would not believe to do some really cool things. So I'm gonna put this up here and double click this and have it set the bottom note is F, and then it continues up to G8, okay? And then I'm gonna make another MIDI effect, MIDI filter, and I can route this. The goal is this, I want the xylophone to repeat itself in the lower range, but be like 2 octaves up. So that way it will still play. So I can go over here, I can open up MIDI filter here, second one, and say the top note is F or E, and then down. And I want to transpose it up 24. So that way it keeps playing. So simple things like that are possible. We're using a single BBC Symphony Orchestra, but I'm doing stuff like that to it. So it's really fun. Let's duplicate this guy one more time. Let's find another bell sound. From Tune Percussion, maybe go over here to the Harp and Celeste. I want to transpose this up an octave, so I hold down Option and click. So I'll go up 2 octaves maybe, because I want to get more tingly. So check this out. I'm gonna bring up jitterbox to about 30 milliseconds, 35 on each one of these, so that the timing is now randomly, with each note you play, gonna be at a different timing value. And it just gives us a really cool I'm playing the same notes at the same time. Let's see, I'm gonna use the right click on solo. He's too low, so let's octave him up. Or maybe down an octave is nice. It gives it a little more grounding. And then I want one more layer preset from Guru Sampler. Probably use Plucky Klamath. And then I'm gonna change this to be a bell sound. So we go Mega Magic Bells Wins. gonna have the marimba shorter. Yeah, like super short. Okay, I think I'll stop right there with that sound. No, it needs a little more work. 1 second here. So when I go save, we could say to the Discover Station Library, Bell 2021 Dreamer. Why not? No, it's John Limcool and Bell. And then I'll add comments later, save as, and says, pops up this window for me to save it. So I say yes to saving it. And now at the top of the list for Discover Station, we now have the 2021 Dreamer. There's definitely some EQ work that needs to be done. Might be fun also to go to the auxiliary effects, to maybe reverb like a natural string, and then click to bring the auxiliary synths up on each of the layers. I think these two sounds, I think they should be panned a little bit. There we go. Cool. Hold down Option, hit Save, that will update it. Okay, so I wanted to do another rhythmic phrase, so BPM phrases. These are where a single MIDI file with all the chord parts and what's fun with these with drums, they just sound so cool. So we'll make a couple more MIDI file things so we can have fun doing these kind of fun. Fun stuff. So clear out the drums. Back to the strings, just mute, have one layer of these. Turn off MIDI box. And now it's played from my keyboard. Now, those of you, I guess it's too late because I believe the Spitfire sales stopped at the end of the year. But the difference between the core version and Discover version is pretty big. I don't have this as a single patch. This is actually 5 separate patches. So let's just do our sequencing thing. So what's fun with this is you just play in anything you want to sequence. Yeah, let's try that. Let's do a... No, that's not the right tempo I want. Speed up a little bit. So. So let me clean my clams. Hit P to see the piano. There. Okay, that will work for what we needed to do. Let's get the velocity to be up a little bit. Hold down Option when you get to the wall so you can get to be. Okay, so we like this MIDI file. We've got to call it the new year, right? So this is about 115, 2021 celebration. C-E-L-E-B-R-E. So we're celebrating, right? Copy, export this as a MIDI file, not there, to Unify, libraries. Come on, you guys. Discover station, MIDI files. This is strings, so string patterns. So I have a whole bunch of different string patterns in here. I'm going to hit save. So that MIDI file is in. So now all you have to do is open up MIDI box, unmute it. We're in the right location, so we go MIDI file, string, and 2115 we just did today. Oh, did I not name? Oh, yeah, I didn't name it, so load that. There it is. Oh, but MIDI box isn't set right. It needs to be for 4 measures. Now, since it's here, there's high velocities and soft velocities. You can use this to expand the range to make it more extreme and then bring down velocity. To find the right combination of the dynamics you want. So I need to rename that MIDI file because I don't want it to go in that way. So go to Discover Station, MIDI files, string patterns, and it's currently called Livestream. So we want that to be 115, 2021. Celebration. So there. Now just click here and say no, use that, because I renamed it. And then we can say copy this setting. Did not do anything. Operations, copy plugin state. Go to this one, say paste, plugin state, turn off mute. When I get lower, not so fast on that delete, mister. These notes down here, oh, let's see. So if I bypass the MIDI box on these guys, I can get everything back to work. See. These guys need to be shorter. All of these in here need to be shorter. Oh, wait, don't do that. Oh, wait. Doom, doom, boom. That's better. a case like this, these can't all be that short, but that can. It's important to clean these up. Dum, dum. Oh, wait. Thank you. Cleaner. Okay. So copy this name, export as a MIDI file, and it goes into this name. Replace. Now we can go back to Unify. Let's move this over here. And I just wanted to play with a little bit better phrasing as it went down the keyboard. It was sounding kind of laggy. Let's reload it. So we go double click. 2021 celebration, 2021 celebration, and oh, I hear something. Oh, that's okay. The cellos are keeping on that B flat. It's a celebration in minor, though, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Yes, Happy New Year to all of you that are joining. I see some new numbers showing up. It's good to see you. We're just having fun. Happy New Year to you, David. Thank you. Yeah, Southern California. Yeah, I usually am doing the live streams at Saturday at noon because that's a good time globally for people in Europe. It's the evening. It's not too early in America, even on the West Coast. It is for Hawaii, so I'm sorry to Hawaii. But I wanted to celebrate the new year when we hit the new year. So yeah, so I'll have to think about this. I'm going to save this as the 2021 celebration, but it might be a different MIDI file when I wake up tomorrow and play it, because it should be in a major key because it's 2021. But I'll save this as a placeholder, and if I do that, this other one will get saved and used with a different name. Because now we're going to do one more. I want to do a phrase that's just a single rhythm. I'm trying to get 16th note rhythms to work. Oh, one of the wrong things. So go over here to Discover Station, to BPM strings. I've been making some other triumphant. Now what's happening here, instead of the phrase, in the phrase you just play a note and it plays this whole thing. You just play one note. But when you come down here to the BPM string triumphant, I've just sussed it down to one note. So then you can play whatever you want. When I play it that way, I don't know if I need. Pretty cool. Did I do some more? Driven to Joy. what else was going on here? The waltz rhythmic. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so. You'll notice for this one that there's a different MIDI file for the two left-hand sounds. And then it's split and so that way the bass part's not going blah, 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 blah. But that's fine for the upper parts. So different MIDI files and different key ranges is pretty cool. But let's make one for the string version. I'm trying to get, like I said, the really fast 16th notes, and it's so hard. So I don't want to see how repetitive that is. And if you call this up in the BBC Symphony Orchestra, just go over here, say BBC. It calls up the core version. These spiccato strings, oh my goodness. Because there's multiple samples, it can do fast runs, and because there's so many samples, if you try that in Discover, it's just a single sample. So it machine guns it. So I'm not sure how to solve that to try to get a more realistic 16th note part. Probably not going to solve that one in a live stream, and you guys would get bored off your. So instead of doing that specific experiment, let's go back to running free. I just want the top string. This is one where it's one MIDI file that everybody's playing. Pretty cool. But what if you had a different MIDI file for the left hand? That might make this more interesting. So we can go to the key range and say stop here. And then say duplicate. And have this one have the key range go all the way down, and the top note be here. And go to this MIDI box, and instead of the 16th note patterns, let's look for something string, just the bottom note. That's nice. So doing things like that is very easy to accomplish. Anyway, amazing animation. I will be live on Saturday. Yeah, we'll do a live stream. That's more this is just, I'm just hanging, you know, it's late at night. I'm not thinking of trying to have an agenda for this. So this is probably not going to be saved past this week because it's just a hang. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody that wanted to show up, and I'll let it play for the week for people to watch. And then we will send this one into the not necessary to watch again bin, because it's more like just to be here for the experience, right? This is all from 4 MIDI files. Although at this point, each one of these is a different set of Unify instruments. 8 voices on each one of these. It starts with the Renegade original mono. This is, there's a bass, a violin, a viola, right? We now have the ability inside of Unify with this to change it to be polytranspose for these. And just like that, we don't have to do the thing like Renegade to make separate layers for everything. It will now just partition out the notes that it needs, just like that. Now play. And I did that, but I optimized it for like the cello, contrabass, violin, violas. And then the whole orchestra is the basses, the cellos, the violins, violas. You know, type of a vibe. But then I took it a step further because inside of each MIDI box, you can set the playback tempo to be double time, triple time, up to 500% faster. So it's like it can become actually like an oscillator. It's pretty funny. What's going on? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Cool. Lovely. So by doing that, Renegade became a frenetic is what I decided to call it, just because different MIDI box plugins on these different layers are at different speeds. So because of that, I'm not going to be able to like condense this into just a single instrument because each one of these is at a different playback rate. So it's just oh, we need to make more bells. So anyway, that's to just what we can do is really fun. One more bell. Got to make one more. We did the 2121 Dreamer. Let's do something more like pure, more classical, real vibe, right? So let's go over here. Maybe harp. Let's try harp. Go discover harp. Let's find something that will combine with that nicely. Let's say duplicate and open. Oh, that's nice. Do we have a harp and Celeste? No, we don't. Okay, so that's nice. Now this is another case where this darn Celeste, or Glock, sorry, Glockenspiel stops right here. So what we want to do, we'll have to find a way to make this a fast thing to do, but if we copy the plugin state, make this into combo box, we need to go back to BBC Symphony Orchestra, right click, paste. Let's hook up MIDI and hook up the audio over here from the first two outputs of it. And now we're back. But I'm going to put two MIDI filter MIDI effects in here. One for the right side and one for the left side. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to trick the Glock to play like 2 or 3 octaves higher down here in this part of the keyboard where it doesn't make any sound. So I can double click this one and say max notes of, oh, it's not listening because I haven't hooked it to MIDI yet. So go over here, connect our wires to MIDI, and we're gonna break this because it now is split into 2, and then these come back into here. And now I can double click this and top note of E. And then this other one is set so that the bottom note is F. which is where the glockenspiel starts. So now I can go to this one here and transpose, let's say up 36. $24. And then it stops again right here. So double click this, say, okay, lower note is here. We need to add one more utility, MIDI effects, Unify, MIDI filter, connect it to the MIDI devices, connect it into here, double click and say the top note is here. And let's transpose this. Oh no, you're gonna do that again, so we can say 48 for this one. There. So we have made it so that there's like 3 sample maps of glockenspiel mapped. So now you can play everywhere and have glockenspiel. So that's the power of being able to pull out Combo Box when you need it to do. Sample maps all over the place do this, where they stop and you can't add extra samples down here. Well, map it to that range and transpose it up 2 octaves, and now you have playable sounds that play in that range. It's really, really fun to do that. So let's go save to Discover Station, bell, harp, and Glock. Just call it that for now. That looks good. This isn't quite right, but I'll fix that. Oh, it's not BPMs. It remembers what was the last category, so we want to be bell. Save as save. And then I'd probably take the harp, add a jitterbox to it. Save that. Option save. And then let's do a little bit more of a fantasy version of this, maybe for no. We'll stop right there on that. Kindle. Oh, well, hey, Kindle, also let me know if you want. I could host it at my site on Dropbox for everybody too. Happy New Year, Kindle. Kindle is one of the all-star contributors to saving out all of these patches for just amazing number of plugin guru libraries. So the Zebra library is here because of Kindle, and I think he did the massive one. Super, super kind of him. So, one more thing to try. Let's make something in Vital. Let's do something synthy. So let's say init. We'll call up Vital. Go over here to our favorite instruments. I put Vital in there. This is a synth that's really fun to program. Let's go for, what kind of sound should we make? Anybody have any suggestions or requests? Do we want more analog-y or more wavetable-y, more harmonic, crazy stuff, a rhythmic pulsing thing? Yeah, BBC discovered, even during their sale, it was still $49. It didn't go anything below that. So it's always been $49, I believe. So yeah. Muted horns. Oh, ow. I don't know if we'll go for Oh, here it is. I was like, wait, where's the... Well, Three Graces and Quad Saw together kind of sound... kind of sound a bit in that... did I get to... Quad Saw Factory... There's a muted trumpet start. If they both went into filter 1. Had to do some sort of like a wow. So I do is drag over here. That's too much, so here's the control. Hey there, Michael. Chorus still is on sale. If you have Discover, you can get it even cheaper. Right. Little creative EQ. Set this to be envelope, so it's just one shot. That's not what I wanted to make, though. I want to make something kind of... something for the library. Now, one thing we did with the library is, if I go over here... initialize preset. Inside of the white noise folders, we've got a whole bunch of stuff I've put in here. How much of this ends up being in the full library, I don't know, because I've put all sorts of stuff from all sorts of different libraries. Turn on key tracking. You so loud. So turn on the filter. I want to have some sort of cool random happening over here, so let's speed it up. We'll have it be seconds. Let's find a way to get this to be more interesting. Oscillator 2 for FM. That's cool. So that should be played. Let's make it be 2-voice unison. The other thing that's fun with the LFOs is the stereo parameter. You can control the LFO phase to be opposite of each other. So let's get this back in. Maybe another one's really slow. This. And then also let's get a little bit shape for the... And then the effects are over here. There's really nice reverb. Add some EQ for the low. Oh, that's the reverb. Here's the EQ. Kind of cool alternative. And then let's have a little bit more going on. Let's change this to be at the end of the list. You can have a filter if you want as well. So there we go. So we can play with the cutoff, right? So the mods are over here. So I can just click and say cutoff, and let's make it into a pulse. Did I do this right? Oh, I had the wrong shape. Control the intensity. We could even modulate the mix with the same thing. That's interesting. A little bit more personality. This means the sample and the waveforms are all going into this distortion effect. If you want, you could say, no, let's have this go direct out. So it's just playing the pad. Straight out. So it's kind of cool to do stuff like that sometimes. Keep something a little more grounded. Let me save this. This is the BPM synth. This is my NTH 2021. Count up, because we're done counting down. Save. Now I'll find where I put it and get in the right place. It's a cool synth. If we want to go for something more traditional, getting all sorts of lead sounds, it's very easy. Even a single oscillator with a unison. And as I mentioned, you can go to an LFO and have it modulate the detune of the unison. Right? From no detune. So that's just a single oscillator. And if you go to advanced, the unison stack can be octaves and all. You've got blend, table blending, all sorts of blending depending on if you're using wavetables. So you can get all sorts of cool stuff. It's a cool lead sound. To start, you need to envelope it a little bit differently. So let's say maybe have decay. Filtering, of course. So get the filter on. And let's use this envelope shape. There's an octave thing in here because of what we did over here. 2 octaves. Lots of different ways to set it up for unison to be used, which is cool. Oscillator 2. Now, to get this to be more interesting, let's send this also to filter 1. I like that start. Happy New Year to you all. It's good to see so many people joining. It's really cool. I didn't think as many would join on a Thursday night, but if any of you have requests, I'm here for 5 more minutes. But I'm just hanging. We'll call it lead 2021, so I know where to find it, and that will turn into something in the library. Well, thank you for joining me for this little rambling hang. And what's fun, I'll probably have 3 more rhythms before I'm done. I want to have at least 6. Because what's fun is you could say, let's take the BPM string from rhythm 3 and add that to the rhythm 1 of brass. So you say load into new Unify layer and what's cool, since it's Unify inside of Unify, click to open the browse, go to Discover Station, and instead of the, let's see. Yeah, this is called Full Ensemble, but if you go over here to one of these other rhythms, like BPM Brass 3, or 2, you can change to any of the patches. Okay, maybe don't do that combination. Or you could add a waltz to it. I mean, all sorts of different ways of applying and kind of works. Because the brass and the waltz, I think that's all part of one of the BPM sound like, I think, Haydn, because it's 3-4-1, so they. Anyway, good stuff. Any plans, release dates for that Vital presets? That will probably be February, I would think, or late January. We're gonna get Discover Station out. This library here will be out first, probably second week of January. And then I'm working with Saif on the Vital library, and that will be out hopefully, we're gonna try to get this done as fast as we can. It's a cool synth, and we're enjoying making lots of cool, maybe more simplified, usable patches for it. Safe's been experimenting, trying to do like orchestra. Like this is a little CPU heavy there, but very, very cool that it can do it. So will the Vital library work with the free version? Yes. Yeah. I've been able to confirm that for sure. So that's a good thing. Yeah, there's some Car Plus stuff in here that's kind of fun. First anniversary is January 6th. That is the date Unify was introduced, just like a couple weeks before the NAMM show. Now, these are samples that are bonus for the library. So you can take this and combine this with an empty layer that goes to, oh wait, go over here to Vital, favorite instruments, Vital's here. And then we have Critical V with all of these patches. That's nice. Other sounds coming inside just Vital by itself. If we want to go down some of the patches we've made. Again, we're not done with this library yet, so it's still a work in process. This is BPM pads. This is using what's so fun is you can just change the curves. Just drop fast. Other crazy patches in this library. Techno in Tokyo. Kyoto. This is one using a sample of a guitar from Mega Magic Pads. And on top of that sample, there's all this really cool some really cool keys. Fun stuff like that. So then there's Plex. couldn't decide to call that keys or pluck. All that kind of stuff. That's great. All right, it's after 1 o'clock. It's fun to hang with you guys. Wishing you a happy new year. Oh, Herbie. Happy new year to you, man. Thank you for joining. May 2021 be great for all of us. Hopefully we can get to a point where we can be out and amongst people and feel safe. I mean, hope you're doing good, Herbie. Thank you so much, man. It's awesome. Yeah. So that's Vital. My gosh, there's so many fun things going on. Make sure that you pick up some of the free libraries that we have. There's one called UniScream, which has all sorts of kind of cool good, man. It's awesome. I mean, it's the new year and we're playing haunted sounds, but you know, why not, right? Ow. Fun stuff. So anyway, make sure you have that. If you want a new plugin to play with, Pendulate is free, and we've got a unified version of the library. So you can simply... That's cool. Definitely cool. Let's write something with that really quick. So I'll go over here. Let me get a little phrase going. Oh, not at that tempo. So I'm going to get a Kontakt into this. Let's go over here to Native Instruments, Kontakt. I'm thinking DrumLab might be a fun vibe to go with that. Kind of like hybrid between real drums and... So let's go over here to... where's it at? DrumLab. Love DrumLab. If you haven't played with this, this is a really cool combination of electronic and acoustic for different drum sounds. I don't like it for the hi-hats, but I like it for the kick and snare. Let's go over here. has with Unify turned down that much. Wow. Just don't want to be distorting. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, by the way, I got to do a little plug because this is pretty cool. I have some of my own music on Spotify. It's finally made it all into it's been at, well, here. So it's real cool Christmas. It's Christmas carols. My first record, yes, Christmas carols. But they're cool remixes and some originals and stuff like that. But you got to hear Koi sing. A friend of mine, Jelani, rapped on Funky Drummer Dude. It's really cool stuff. So if you want something fun to listen to Christmas-wise while it's still cold out, I have an album of, I've been holding to these songs for like 20, 25 years. I mean, not released them. So I'm slowly letting them out. So that this is, let me see if the audio is working where you hear it. No, let's see. Is it? No. So that means did I turn that off? Let's see. That's not the right one though. Test. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I wrote a whole jam. I'm here bouncing around and you guys haven't heard it. Well, I called up Pendulate and I made a bass sound. I'll show you what I did. You guys are rock and roll troopers. I mean, wow. Herbie, I was just saying we should collaborate together on this because it came out. I didn't expect this to be so cool, but I think it's kind of fun. So anyway, I came up with this bass part. Right? And then I called up one of my favorite plugins. You guys saw it on the screen, Drum Lab. And I had it play. I made a drum groove, I just played it in real time. I just love the vibe of Drum Lab. It's this mix of, put the two together. Kind of like One Day is a Lion. Or we could do 50, 50, 50, 50, 55 times. You know, there's Rage Against the Machine. Oh, for the coast of humanity. Right? And then I had a guitar part. Vibe, and I called it 2021, so I like that. And the music, yeah, I like them. Needs to get some more stuff going on with it, so, but I saved it so I could play with it and come up with some more stuff. Oh, that means maybe is Spotify up and running too? Let's see. Because I announced to you guys, even though you couldn't hear, I have a Christmas record on Spotify, on Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, everywhere. I used DistroKid. It was really painless and fun. Let me see if this plays. Do you hear this? Yeah. So it's remixed Christmas tunes. Oh wait.
Here we go.
This starts off classical. And then series stops and we go. And then my buddy Jelani. Oh, here.
Me.
So I was soloing away. What?
I'm terribly sorry to bother you. That is clearly funky. But seriously, where's the dude?
Where's the dude? So I get my buddy Jelani. Just drop the fourth beat after holding for three. I like my snare sharp and my kicks rough. Yo, that's what's up. Hey, yo, John. Anyway, these tracks, some of them go back over 20 years. So I've been holding onto this music for a long time and not letting it out. And I was like, I want to get the music out. So I actually have some really special music coming out in January through DistroKid. I'll release it. So anyway, thank you for hanging out for all of this. It's so good to see all of you. I hope 2021 works out to be great for everybody. But I think I'm going to go pass out. So Yeah, I did drop an album, and I have more music coming out. There's all sorts of stuff. I just haven't released my music publicly to, and I was like, you know what? Need to share some music because I don't want to not let the music out. So stay tuned. I'll give announcements when other albums are out. But I do have a Christmas album that it showed up like 2 or 3 days after Christmas. I was like, oh, great. Thanks. Yes. Oh, shout outs. Shout out from wherever you are. I think we're mostly West Coast people at this point, right? Shout out from PDX. Thank you for joining. Herbie, good to see you, man. It's always a joy. We'll be doing some fun stuff on the live stream on Saturday. I have a plugin from the guys behind Wave Razor I'll be showing you guys. The anniversary special. Yeah, we got to have an anniversary special. From New York, good to see you, David. Wow, 3:30. You troopers out there on the East Coast. Good Lord. Wow. Oh, thank you, Isaac. Good to see you in Colorado. Oh, good seeing you too. Cool, cool. All right, well, wow. Just love seeing where everybody is from, but yeah. It's a couple of people in the UK, because I think it's early morning there, which is great. Good to see you guys on the UK. I want to come out there one of these days. Yeah, Herbie, thanks for making it a fun evening. And to everybody else for being here, it's good to see you all. And to all, a happy 2021. Bye from the Matrix, exactly. See you guys.